It's that time again, ladies and gentlemen. I am back for another live stream. Yes, getting into the swing of things with these, doing them once a month, of course. The last Saturday of the month, trying to aim for the last Saturday of the month. See Jeff's online. How's it going, buddy? Not often you'll see me doing one of these streams with a guitar in hand, right? Usually I'm doing these transcriptions without a guitar, and that's because, generally speaking, I don't need a guitar. And to be fair, I don't need a guitar for this. But what we're looking at today is the incredible Pat Martino, and I am a real big fan of Pat's playing. I absolutely love Pat's playing, actually. And I want to get into his mindset a little bit, and I also want to learn a little bit of stuff from this. So we're looking at some of his instructional video content, transcribing some licks from his instructional videos. I've got that all loaded up in Transcribe, talk more about that shortly. Yeah, this comes from, the plan last month was actually to do a Pat Martino month. I was going to take a couple of tracks and do some live transcribing some Pat Martino. And I did a little bit of practice beforehand, during the month, transcribing a bunch of Pat's lines, and I found it all very strange, because although it's a style that I understand in terms of the sound, like it's that hard bop sound, and I can finger his lines, like they make sense, there's logic to them. His positional bass playing is very interesting, because I'd position a lick down here on the neck and everything would feel really comfortable, like your typical, like... But then suddenly there'd be higher notes and I'm like, well, is it done? Is he playing here? I don't understand the man's fingering positions, if that makes sense, or where he's likely to play things. And of course, one of the best ways to really get into how somebody fingers things is to look at video content of them and really delve deep into how they play. So we are going to be looking at some of the instructional material from the Quantum Guitar DVD today, which is, a long DVD. We're not looking at the whole thing, don't worry. He has a bunch of DVDs available, both the old REH ones. He has instructional content with Dennis Chang. He has the DC Music School. He has instructional content available on TrueFire. The thing with Pat, and it's worth really highlighting this, the guy, I'm trying to say this without being rude, he's boring. I know that sounds really rude. Pat's on another level when it comes to his mind and the way he thinks about things. And I don't really relate to a lot of what he speaks about in terms of the way he, puts information across. And that's really interesting, because I am an extremely analytical person, but Pat's level of being meticulous and analytical about things goes a little beyond what I enjoy. So when I'm looking and listening to Pat teach, I find it very, very hard. Not to follow, but to stay engaged. So I'm not into his teaching presentation, but I love his playing. Pat obviously talks a lot on his instructional material about harmony. We are going to be ignoring almost all of the harmonic content today. What Pat is famous for is his minorization. So he does this across all of his instructional videos. He shows you all of the weird chords that he will play and the way he will substitute in minor scales, melodic minor, really, when you listen to his lines, as substitutes on any given chord sound. So he has minor substitutions he'll play over anything. I'm not going to be focusing so much on the substitutions that he's playing here. I'm going to be focusing a lot more just on the minor lines, because if we can learn the minor lines that somebody plays, then you can work on the substitution and just start applying this to things. But what's more likely to happen is you'll find yourself in a setting where you're playing on an F minor chord, hello Ian, how's it going? And you'll have more to play than... Now, lines like that are absolutely fine, but if you can add some more... If you can add more stuff like that, I'm sure you're going to enjoy that. So that's what I'm looking to do from Pat here, is to steal those types of things. But of course, I have a bunch of other things to tell you before we do that. First of all, I'm going to respond to questions. Dave says, have I got my Brent Mason telly yet? I'm not getting a Brent Mason telly. I cancelled the order. Fender fucked me around. Guitar fucked me around. And I'm not into being fucked around. So I took that money and I bought a really nice piano with it instead. I am doing a giveaway tonight. I'm going to bring these up on screen. See this DVD? Pat Martino, Creative Force, complete. I've got 2 copies of it. I'm an idiot. I really love Pat's playing, obviously. And I was in bed the other night and I was like, I'm sure there's a Pat Martino DVD that I don't have. And I know that I have a Quantum guitar, which is the yellow one. So I went online and managed to find myself a copy of this. And I ordered it in bed. And it showed up today. And I went to my shelf to put it on the shelf and I went, I've already got it. It's a 40 quid DVD. It's long out of print, actually. So it's a nice little piece, the Creative Force. I could return it, but why not give it away? So I'm going to give it away to one of my patrons. If you would like to be in with a chance of winning this, check my post on Patreon. Just put your name in the comments on the Patreon post, and I will pick a winner over the coming week to give that to. So link in the description. You can support me for as little as $1. Speaking of which, let me just run my credits. These awesome people support me over on Patreon. Link in the description. You want to help the channel grow? Well, it actually doesn't really help the channel grow. It sustains the channel. If you want the channel to be sustained, you want me to continue doing the things that I'm doing, best way to do that is to support me over on Patreon. Link in the description. You'll have fun. Join my Facebook group. Join my Discord. Get involved. Have some fun. Learn a lot of stuff. Get to know some good people. All of the good stuff. You'll have a great time. And of course, in these COVID times, this is how content creators sustain livings. So please do consider it if you have the spare dollars. Alternatively, you can also check out one of my books. I should also probably plug that where is it? There we go. Should also probably plug the piano membership, which I'll post it in the comments. Why not? So pianote.com/Levi Clay. If you sign up to Piano, there's a free trial that you can get via my link, and if you sign up for a free trial, I get paid, which is... And of course, I am spending a lot of time working on piano and harmony and all that stuff, so it's a source that I'm genuinely using. Really, really enjoy it, and So, right, let's talk about what I'm doing before, because before I do the Pat Martino thing, some of you may remember the other month, I should say, I was getting to grips with MuseScore. And I, as you can see, am getting a lot more in depth with MuseScore now. Still not crazy on a lot of the layout features, but I will get to grips with those, I'm sure, in the coming months. I am transcribing some harmony. I'm doing an arrangement of an arrangement, if you like. Adam Neely's fantastic rendition of Adele's Hello. Lovely tune. And Adam's version of it in particular is absolutely fantastic. Really putting some magic to it. Melissa, my girlfriend, and her band, Melissa Kelly and the Smoking Crows, they've just been booked for a pretty decent festival spot in a couple of months. She's got a nice big 11-piece. Well, they're going with an 11, but usually it'd be a bigger band, but budget and all that. 11-piece soul band. And, horn section. So I am going to be arranging this particular rendition of the tune for those guys to play, which is going to be fantastic. But yeah, lots of fun, and this takes a lot longer than it should. But listen how luscious these chords are. Absolutely glorious like that. Now, of course, I will point out Adam's video helps significantly for this, helping me get a starting point for what some of these chords are. But he doesn't actually go into the depth of what these, there's lots of hits in the song. And this descending bass line, this F to E, E flat D to D flat to C, continues down. Does it go down again? Oh no, F and then up to B flat. This E major 7 sharp 11 here is lovely. What a lovely chord. And yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with this. MuseScore is actually pretty good for that, to be honest, pretty good for this. Also got the just did this bit just before I started this stream, and I kind of want to continue doing it. And then yeah, moving into the next section, lots to do. I'll give you a quick blast actually of where I am in that tune. Where am I? Is it this one? Nope. Not that one. I have so many files open. This one. So I'm working on this. Probably going to drop out the proggy changes, the proggy rhythms there, because I don't think that's massively appropriate for a soul band. But yeah, really nice rendition of that, and reminding me that transcribing harmony is the big daddy of transcribing. It's hard to do, very, very hard to do, and arranging that harmony across multiple instruments. As you can see on my score here, I've only dealt in the piano part, the guitar part, and the bass part, but of course I've still got to add a horn section to this. The band won't have a string section available on the gig, so I can't arrange anything for strings, so I need to kind of work that into the guitar parts if possible. You get the idea. Lots of fun though, like lots and lots of fun. I've got backing vocalists that I can write for as well. Fun. It's been a long time since I've got to arrange for a big group, so that's really cool. It's going to be cool to get to see some of the stuff on stage. So yeah, keep your eyes out for more teaser clips of this, because Melissa's going to knock it out of the park with some ridiculous vocal stuff that she's putting on this. Is that Jamie Henderson? Hey Levi, I was wondering if you could let me know the best resources or advice to get starting with transcribing guitar parts in rock songs. YouTube.com/Levi Clay. I've got a lot of stuff up here that teaches you the process of transcribing, how I go about doing that. And you just want to tune in for some of those live streams. They're all there for you to watch and go through the process of how I'm doing that. I have talked about and planned to write a course on transcribing, and I've planned that for literally years now, and I'm just so busy that I've not got around to doing it. It will probably come one day. What I can tell you about transcribing content is that generally speaking, people don't want to watch it. We've got 21 people watching live right now, which pales in comparison to even something like a Guitar Souls podcast. So generally speaking, people aren't all that interested. But I will get around to it at some point. I don't want to click screen. That was the wrong thing. There we go. My face. So how is everybody? I hope everybody is having a good time, a good week, a good month, a good year even. I'm going to load up this Pat Martino stuff while we are doing that. I'm also transcribing Kiko Loureiro's album, which is a lot of work. Let's do some Martino. And I can't believe I didn't say hello to Dan Smith. Hello, Dan Smith. How's it going, brother? Well, God, I'm getting Scottish. I'm rolling my R's. Should Hulk Hogan it, shouldn't I, really? How's it going? Brother! Good to see you, brother! Yeah, there's also been talk about doing a book on modern ear training, because I take a lot of issue with the way ear training is generally taught. With this very impractical, like, that's a fifth. Like, awesome. As a professional transcriber, the ability to hear two notes and say, that's a fifth, is not something I've ever used. But the things that I actually do use as a professional transcriber day in, day out aren't taught. So seems like that'll be something that I'll probably do at some point. Is that going to be YouTube emailing me, telling me that I'm live on my channel? Yep, thanks very much. I'm aware, YouTube. Right, cool. So let me bring up this Martino thing, and we will crack on and do some stuff. So the thing I want to say about this is, as I say, this one, there we go. Pat is boring as sin. I don't really mean that. Like, I love him. I genuinely love him. I should actually make some recommendations. So I'm going to bring up Spotify, and you can see in my recently played type things, you will see We'll Be Together Again. The Pat Martino album, We'll Be Together Again. This album is phenomenal, and I highly recommend you go and check this record out. It's just guitar and organ. The whole album, just guitar and organ. Lament is beautiful. The rendition of Send in the Clouds is really, really nice. I'd probably say Lament is my favourite tune on the record. Just a really, really nice laid-back album, and I've been putting this album on relentlessly when I'm in bed. at night, because I think it's really just, it's got a laid back, chilled vibe, but there's some killer playing on it. Well worth checking out. If you go on Pat's Spotify page, the Footprints album is fantastic. I'm a big fan of that Footprints album. For me, I listened to a lot of Pat when I was younger, but it was all modern Pat. It was all post brain aneurysm Pat. I spent a lot of time listening to Live at Yoshi's, actually. And I didn't put all that much time into listening to early Pat, and that's a shame, because early Pat is fantastic. Another, the Willis Jackson record with Pat Martino. This is really, really cool. There's some great playing on this record. So, yeah, check out some of Pat's playing. But as I say, my highlight would absolutely be We'll Be Together Again. Love that record. One of the best. So, let's take from one video of a guy talking too much to another video of a guy talking too much. Let's have a look. You're the educational book guy. Guy asked me today about recommended book learn jazz harmony and componing specifically to the bassist and vocalist. I am the educational book guy. I buy too many educational books. I posted just recently on Instagram the Boogie Woogie Hannon book for piano, and I've been having a great time practicing from that. And that book is so good that I've gone and ordered all of the other such and such Hannon books. There's a jazz Hannon book, and there's a blues Hannon book. I don't have really much interest in learning blues piano, but it's similar to Boogie Woogie, I guess. But yeah, if I can add resources to my library, I'm going to add resources to my library. I've got a huge library of educational content, and I love it. So, but yeah, Dan says here, a guy that asked him today about recommended book to learn jazz harmony and comping, to stay out of the way of a bassist and vocalist. Yeah, that's an interesting one, isn't it? Like staying out of the way of a bassist. I don't think all that many, good jazz like guitar harmony books. Certainly I've not read a whole lot of them. That's the sort of thing that I've picked up more so from transcribing, right? From listening and transcribing. You definitely don't tend to see a lot of books that focus on teaching harmony, like harmony in theory stuff, but then comping, which I consider to be application of harmony in theory. I like there's a Hal Leonard book called Jazzology that I think is very good. Everybody raves about the Mark Levine jazz theory book. It's fine. I think it gets a little in the weeds at times. There is some practical application in there. But yeah, I posted a picture on Instagram just recently actually of some really, really bad text from a music book. And that was actually from one of the Mark Levine books. It was from the Mark Levine jazz piano book. Just astonishingly bad edited text where none of it made sense. It was just incorrect actually. So yeah, not crazy on that particular approach. So the Jazzology is one that I come back to time and time again. Great book. But yeah, that specific need. The thing is, Dan, and you know this better than anybody, you could go down the route of like getting Randy Vincent has got the Drop System book, which is good. But all of those voicings, they're going to stay out of the way of a jazz, not necessarily jazz, but of a singer and a bass player. These voicings are all absolutely lovely voicings, and we like these things a lot. Definitely stay out of the way. But I don't like the sound of them. So, yeah, it all depends on taste. Another one would be the Tim Miller and Mick Goodrick. Tim Miller and Mick Goodrick book on contemporary comping, harmony comping thing. But again, to my ears, it just sounds too modern. It's just not what I'm actually all that into. My favourite one for comping patterns and it's not really comping patterns, but is swing and big band guitar. The Charleston Johnson book. I really like that book. So yeah, said he kind of need to learn harmony. Yeah, figure out what works for him playing rootless chords in the middle of ranges. Yeah. Also, just like learning Joe Pass style, but just skipping out the bass notes, right? I don't know why I'm telling you this, you know this, but if he sees this, if I'm playing I wanted to play something more interesting there, and I didn't. Just like a typical kind of Joe Pass pattern that you might play there. Just doing that same thing and just not playing the bass notes. Does the trick, right? Anyway, on with the Pat Martino. So, I'm going to let it play. What you'll see if I zoom out, I have put some markers in. And the markers that I've put in are things that I want to transcribe that are in this video. So I've watched, a lot of this. I'm just making a few markers for myself of where to transcribe. Because there's a lot of talking in this, like a lot of talking. Check it.
The difference between then and now was the use of substitutions were primarily being based upon a three-dimensional concern. In other words, if I were to improvise substitutionally against an A7th in this particular position...
I've already switched off.
As I discussed before, I use personally, through my own choice, I enjoy using a minor seventh, a perfect fifth higher, from the root being the name of the key center of the chord. So this being an A7th, my personal choice is an E minor seventh.
I'll come back to that.
In that same position, my choice had been a G flat seventh, coming from the parent form, to a G flat seventh here, G diminished, to G flat seventh. In that position, that area in a two-dimensional formation would be like this.
A two-dimensional formation.
So on and so forth.
We'll let him talk a little bit more.
The nature of these forms that I have brought to your attention some time ago had a great deal to do with my substitutions in a three-dimensional context. In other words, when I say three-dimension, I'm thinking of one key center. In the case of the diminished chord being lowered from the third string in this particular position,
we are
from the B flat
1
to an
minute and
A.
30 seconds into this.
As so, under this, my substitution for this at that particular point in time had a great deal to do with the perfect fifth higher to the key of E, which I've discussed in depth some time back.
I trust you have.
Appearing as such in this particular position. So you can see that all of that is here.
I can't see any of it.
In the sense of how this is.
I do find it really fascinating though, because of course what this highlights, like there's no doubt in my mind, this all makes perfect sense to Pat. And I'm not saying that he's talking out of his arse, because he's not. We are, yeah, I am doing a learnings. We are pattern-seeking mammals, right? We seek patterns. We see patterns in things. And one of our biggest flaws as mammals is that, as pattern-seeking mammals, is that we often attribute a lot more relevance to patterns than they necessarily should have. I'm not saying no patterns are relevant, but it's easy to assign patterns to something where there's actually no pattern there and nothing of any relevance whatsoever. For example, people have things like, I don't know, lucky socks or lucky underwear because some good things happen when you're wearing wearing a certain set of underwear. Happens a couple of times, so you see the pattern and you just go, oh, it's my lucky underwear. We are pattern-seeking mammals, and Pat falls very firmly into that camp. Now, he fully understands all these patterns. I don't. I've got a totally different way of understanding what Pat's talking about here, and I sort of translate what he's saying when he talks and demonstrates stuff to something that makes sense to me. Like, for example, right here on screen where you can see example 1 E minor 7 line forms over an A7 chord, I can just think to myself, over any dominant 7 chord, I'm just going to be playing minor 7 vocabulary. And when Pat says minor 7 vocabulary, he's really talking melodic minor. His lines are very melodic minor based. Minor 7 vocabulary based on the 5th of the chord, so over an A7. Now that works, right? gives us that A7 sound. That's a substitution pattern that you can learn. The way Pat arrives at that is different from how I arrive at it. Is the way he arrives at it is, or the way he memorizes it is a different way that I memorize it, but the content is still the same. So as I said at the start of this video, or this stream, the focus here is going to be learning the minor 7 lines, not the substitutions. You can start applying the substitutions at a later point. Okay, so let's take a look at this first line. Now, because he's not playing to a band, I'm looking for what I would consider to be the downbeat. Now, of course, that's a classic phrase. Ba ba da da, ba ba da da. So that's definitely what I'm going to be considering, not necessarily 1. In fact, I'll put 2 beats before it. We'll finish the line, then we'll work back. Ba ba da da da. That's a cool lick. I'll zoom in on this so we can see it. What we got here? Play melodic minor over the 5th of the dominant 7 chord. Learn something already. Great channel. Yeah, thanks very much, Michael. There's lots of substitutions like that you'll start to pick up, of course. Like if I do the same sort of thing over, and like this isn't, I was going to say this isn't new to you, but maybe it is. I would assume it actually is. Over an A7 chord, if I play melodic minor starting on the flat 2 of the chord, so B flat melodic minor, that gives me like an altered dominant sound. That sort of thing. Over an A, that sort of thing. Substitutions that you can learn. Anyway, let's take a look at this line. So I'm just going to take that part. Now we've got a line that goes before it. Ba da da. What does he play there? Sorry. Yeah, so working backwards to fill in this line. Let's go there. That's it. So okay, now we've got our line. So this is an E melodic minor line. I would be thinking this as E melodic minor. See if anything contradicts that, anything that really stands out to me as being off point. One more question, man. Total beginner transcriber. Single note recognition is okay. Often struggle with the rhythm. Any tips? You have to learn how to read, man. You got to learn how to read. If you can't read, I say this on my channel all the time. If you can't read music, which is to see, and I don't mean at sight. I don't mean just put it in front of you, look at it and play it. If you can't see written music and work out how to play that thing, which is being able to see something and know what it will sound like, you will have no ability to hear something and know what it's going to look like. If you work on your reading, your transcribing will improve. So, don't get me wrong, I know enough scales and modes to get me by, but putting things together like he has just seems like another language. I mean, it is another language, literally another language. Jazz is a language all in its own right? So if we take a look at this, how it's being played on the guitar, for me, you know, my visualization, I'm actually going to bring up neck diagrams for this. Quite a useful tool. I use this with my students in Skype lessons. Of course, if you want to have Skype lessons, you can do that via my Patreon page. All right, let's select all the notes off of this. Yeah, we're in the open position. So actually, I'm just going to put a new diagram up. So my way of visualizing this, and I actually don't ever play out of this position because I've kind of moved beyond it in terms of the way I visualize things. But if we're speaking traditionally, this would be our -7 voicing for like cage voicings. You'd probably play that as the chord. Sorry, we wouldn't have the third in there. This would be our voicing. So when I look at Pat's line, to me it fits around this chord. If I spell out the melodic minor around this, I hate it when it does that. We have to put this 7 in there because the 7 is important as well. So this is our kind of like melodic minor in that area. Now, like I say, the chord has the flat 7, but a melodic minor has the 7th in it. He of course is going to play the flat 5 because that's part of the vocabulary. But the point is, yeah, that's what I'm seeing when I look at this line. Let's try that again. I play jazz. It's favourite pentatonic with chromatics. I don't know about that, Michael. Like, if I put you over a major 7 chord, you can't play pentatonics with chromatics. If you're playing over, you've got to be able to. Oh, can't play apparently. So yeah, when I'm looking and learning lines like this, 4 beat fragments, 4 note fragments. That's a fragment. That's an E minor line. This. I should highlight that. That's a fragment that I'm seeing. Now, when we get there, this is a classic, and you know, if you look back to me transcribing, that was the first thing I did. You're going to see that all the time in E minor. This is kind of cool. I don't tend to, well, I pull off to the C sharp. I don't normally do that, but and then the way he finishes is kind of beautiful. I like that. That's really nice. Sorry. No, pull off isn't there. Really nice. Anyway, let's move on. Let's play another E minor line. So next E minor line he plays is this. Has a really nice line. So you go ba da da ba ba da da ba da ba da da ba. Yeah. Same kind of lines, right? This is the same as this. See, it's F sharp there. No, it is a G. Yeah, down to the C sharp. So these are patterns he likes to play. This is this verbatim. I love these lines he plays. Martin Miller plays these types of lines all the time. Is he going to the D? He does. He just hits that. I want to work out how I want to articulate this. Yeah, kind of like the rhythm like that for that. That way, if I play this last part, you got a melody, right? You wouldn't want to go. So the whole line. Are you just gonna sit there and die all night? Is that what you've planned, mate? He's fine. See, I do a Pat Martino impression, but I don't play like Pat. I actually hear. I hear that. Yeah, so I'm going to put this in like that. There's like it does a little upstroke sweep on that, which is really cool. Which makes it more like a line, a jazz line. Now, I just want to mention articulation because this is really, really important. And I'm drilling my students on this all the time. In fact, good student, and Jeff, if he's still online, actually has had to deal with this a lot recently. But another good student of mine, Joe, he sent me 14 videos today via Facebook Messenger, and he was like, man, I think I've got it. And he sent me all these videos of him playing the lines that I'd given him to work on. And he's got it because this stuff is important to get this sound. You'll see a lot of pull-offs in Pat's playing, right? A lot of pull-offs. Yeah? These are important. They're an important part of getting the sound. But you are almost always going to see them on weak beats. So you'll never, well, not never, but if we look at a 4-note grouping like this, Pat will very rarely pick the first note and hammer to the second. He's always going to pick the second and hammer to the third. He'll pick the fourth and hammer to the first. Weak beat onto strong beat. So here we have, I'll just highlight each one of these. This is weak beat onto strong beat, weak beat onto strong beat, weak beat onto strong beat, weak to strong, weak to strong, weak to strong, weak to strong. This is a slur, like a slide. I don't really think of that as being part of it, but of course it does count. It's kind of like because there's a rest after it, doesn't really feel off. Now the whole point of this, not the whole point of this, but the reason this works so well is because if you have consistent alternate picking when you're doing this, they'll all be on upstrokes. So I play this line. I'll stand up so you can see that picking hand actually. Normally I'd have my other camera set up, but apparently I'm unorganized today, sorry. So if you look at my picking hand as I play that, you want to hear my guitar, don't you? There's motions in there. Now he doesn't play it with a swing feel, he plays it with a straight feel, but I get the line right. That articulation, what Sean Baxter would refer to as swing picking, is a huge part of Martino's sound. It's a huge part of Mike Stern's sound. It's a huge part of Pat Metheny's sound. You hear this in Benson's playing, and it's not. This isn't something that's drilled in by teachers, by their teachers necessarily. This comes from imitating articulation. This is how jazz horn players articulate, so they articulate like that. So very important to get the sound. Right, let's move on. Play some more lines. So what else have we got? Lots of talking. Then I found a line here that I liked. So it's going to be a G minor 7 line. Not crazy on the ending, but now, those are cool lines, and they actually function in the same way if you look at what he's playing. As I said, I'm not fussed about this C7 over A side of things. I'm looking at learning minor lines. So when we look at where he's playing, well, our G root note would be at the 5th fret. So for this G minor visualization, this is still that. Bring it back. There we go. It's still that area. It's just all that, but moved up to G minor now. So shouldn't be difficult to get your head around. Let's take a look at what he actually plays. No, George, you absolutely can't beat Martino. He's one of the best. Now I want to. You'll see the line in here, right? Why can't I find it? It's there. That's the line, right? That's this. But he's now. So let's get that as our line. I'll correct my accidentals. There's our line. Did he pull those both? Exactly the same phrase as before. Exactly the same phrase. Finishes it in a different way. I love this. Bits. That's actually really wild if we want to be really picky about what he does here. Is that... But oh, sorry, but he does pick this last note. I'm going to have to zoom out a little bit so you can see this. Oh, sorry, my face is in the way as well. Doesn't help. Oh, same again. Now it doesn't make sense to end the line on the G. Sorry, did I get that right? Really, you want that to come down to a G, because the line is a G line, right? It's a G minor line. Now, if you do it like that, sorry, fill the bar out. What did I do wrong there? Sorry, no. Yeah, I like that kind of spacing for it in terms of like how I would think about it fitting in a bar. Just really zoom out so I can really see everything. But you're going to see the same thing when you study this line. Weak beat to strong beat, 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 weak to strong. This is really cool. This is weak. Yeah, weak pulling off to strong, and he still picks that weak beat. Weak to strong. All the articulations, all those slurs are in weak to strong positions. So same principle in terms of learning it. Does he start with an upstroke is the question. He actually does. That will take time. So G as a G minor line. Fun with my jazz noodlings. So the G minor line. So I'm assuming he's probably going to play the same line in here then. So it's the exact same line, but he's moved it up a minor third to B flat. So I won't even bother transcribing it. We're learning something though. Hopefully we're learning something. I mean, only 2 minutes into the video.
Personal fulfillment.
Just in terms of like how, you know, what I'm taking from this. Put myself up like this. I really wish I set up my other camera now. I can do that at the press of a button. Let's just do that. I'd have to keep standing up. There we go. So in terms of like how I'd be dealing with that. Sorry. In terms of how I'm dealing with this, learning from this, we've got a line now. To me, this. He does that. Doesn't pull off there. That's the line. Now I want to learn this. And this is a line that begins on the root of a minor chord, right? So I should, in theory, if I was playing not G here, but G here, I want to get that line. Sorry. That's the line. There's the line. That's what he's playing there. Could we do that in the lower position? We can't get the low note. Maybe end it like that. Now it's a line, right? That we're trying to program in. We want the sound of that line. Or what Pat played. That's what Pat plays. So, yeah, I'm trying to program that in as a melody, something that I understand, something that I can program into my melodic playing. Anytime I'm hearing minor vocabulary now, anytime I'm playing, say I'm in F minor. Ah. More melodic minor. So that's the line that we've learned so far. Let's do some more.
Personal fulfillment. And along that...
I like this line. Let's look at it. This is a B flat minor 7 line.
B flat minor 7th.
Now, in terms of what he's playing here, we have to, well, for me, I'm understanding positions. I'm understanding what he's doing. So I can see B flat is here. This is the B flat root note here at the 6th fret of the E string, sorry. So my visualization changes. I'm not going to draw out a new diagram for you. You will do that in your own time, of course. But point is, this line is going to fit around this. That's, in my mind, the position. Now let's look at what Pat actually plays. Okay.
E flat minor 7th.
So starting with a nice little major 7 arpeggio off the 3rd of the chord. There you go. Let's fix my accidentals. Details are important. Hello, Gabriel. How's it going? Great line so far. I know this is what I'm all about. Let's zoom in so I can actually highlight. Now this, I love these. These are Martino-isms at their best. Oh. Now I'm looking forward to learning this. Now he's going to end it on the A, right? Because he's playing a B minor 7 over an A7 sharp 5. We're not going to do that. I'm going to put the B flat root in there, just so I can see it when I come back to practice this. Now, tasty line, tasty line. Nice and slow. Let me... Okay, get the right cameras. They help. Right, so nice and slow. Thinking B flat minor, and we go. That's a great line, great line. Now for me, if I can play it here, I then want to be able to play it here. So major. I don't use MuseScore for any of that stuff, Gabriel, although I have MuseScore open with a... Oh, I can't see it, hang on. I have MuseScore literally open here with a transcription I'm working on. I don't do any guitar tab stuff in MuseScore. Never, no. So, again, really cool line. But like I say, I want to get it under my fingers in a couple of positions. And I'm thinking higher up on the neck now. So line starts on the 9th, where it's really a major 7 arpeggio from the 3rd. But you get the idea. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. So if I'm up here, we're going to go up. My bad. That fits really nicely in that area. Now these are things I'd normally, but now I'm trying to program in. Get that in focus. Is jazz guitar heroin or mushrooms? I always forget which. I think it's both. I think you have to do both. I think it's really important you do both. I guess probably more heroin. I think heroin has probably been more popular among jazz musicians. There we go. How do we get in there? So we want to hit the ninth. That's our access. It's nice. So nice. There we go. So words to that effect, at least. And point is, this is how I'm developing. This is how I'm using transcription in my own personal growth, in my own practice routines, to find things I like and then work those things into my playing. Without looking at the tab, have I learned? Can I do these two melodies? Right? Have I got these two melodies programmed in? One, pick a key, B flat, was. Words to that effect. That's it. That's the pat melody. Picking. That's melody one. My alternate ending to it was. So I've learned that melody. It's in there. And in theory, if I played here, stolen it. It's part of my DNA now. Takes a while, but now let's say I'm do that in F. I'm gonna play my two melodies now. So here's F. Or, and the other one, yeah. That's programmed in. I know it now, yeah? I forgot the original place we were playing it. It was here. Nice. Now I want to program it. I just need it. Like if I'm vamping, if I'm jamming, and I'm playing with someone like vamping in A. Let's try it again. Wrong key. No, lost it. There we go. See, it's not ingrained enough yet. Sat, drop that message again so I can read it. So. That's it, yeah. That's awkward for me. Programmed in. Right, more. Let's do some more, because that's how you get better. Let's zoom out. Actually, there's a whole song in this that I want to transcribe, so we'll be here a while. We won't. Oh, this is a nice example. So this is playing blues. Hollywood actress, how's it going?
Fit the blues.
Oh, I should probably point out for anyone that is still tuned into this, I accidentally, it genuinely was an accident, I accidentally got two copies of Pat Martino's Creative Force complete on DVD. I've had this one for years. I ordered this one this week. It turned up. I went to put it on my shelf and realised I already have it. So I've got two copies of this. I'm going to give one of them away to one of my patrons. Link in the description. If you join me on Patreon, you can access the post for like $1. And yeah, put your name on the post and I'll give it away to somebody. In fact, let me run my credits while I read these comments. As always, a huge thank you to my wonderful supporters over on Patreon. If you want to get support, if you want to get lots of exclusive goodies, download a bunch of tabs, get private lessons, all of that good stuff, then you can join me on Patreon for as little as $1. Link in the description. If that doesn't suit, you can also head on over to Amazon, check out one of my books. I have many available, and yeah, you'll find something you enjoy. Right, on with the show. Whose solos are the hardest for me to hear, not including the speed factor? Anyone that plays messy, really. You know, anyone that plays messy. There are certainly examples of Pat Martino, well, I've been trying to transcribe, where it's just a little bit messy and I can't really hear exactly what's going on. You hear the same from Joe Pass, one of my all-time favourite players. He can be messy. Danny Gatton, one of my all-time favourite players. Like I'm playing a Danny Gatton clone Telecaster. All-time favourites. Clearly. But, you know, if you transcribe like Nitpicking by Danny Gatton, it's just mess, just noise. You know, sometimes it's really hard to pick out what's actually being played. So, yeah. Could be a lot of people, and speed isn't really the issue. Speed is the cause of the problem, but it's not the problem itself. They're playing a little bit faster than they should. They're playing a little bit fast and loose, you know, and emphasis on the loose. So it can be a little bit hard to pick out the detail. You know, the vibe is still totally there, but yeah. Anyway, on with the licks.
Fit the blues.
So let's listen to the example. This is Pat playing blues.
Fit the blues. When this enters into it.
Now we won't deal in the when this enters into it, but just the idea there. You should be good at picking out what he's playing here. So we've got our chords, the nines, and then I love that type of stuff. This type of thing, right? And then after that he plays that. So these are the types of things we know, or at least you should know. You boys just destroying my studio. Can you stop that, please? Thank you. Now he's going to switch. So this is a B flat minor 7 line. It's being played over an E flat chord. So if E flat is the 1, B flat is the 5. So this is playing minor 7 vocabulary from the 5th of the chord. Very common. It's, you know, one of the things we pointed out at the start of the stream. And yeah, in terms of where he's playing it, well, B flat is here at the 6th fret. So in my visualization, the way I would be seeing this, the way I would learn this is, wrong camera. The way I would learn this is, I think this as being shape 1. With melodic minor being how does Greg Koch compare to Danny? Different players. Very different players. Greg's a great player. An awesome player. So let's learn this line. That's actually... I don't like where it starts in terms of like the beat. So we'd think it starts on the flat 7 of the minor 7 chord. And then he goes straight into that melodic minor sound. He actually picks all the notes there. Damn accidentals. We'll talk about the chromaticism as well in a second, don't we? Yeah. I know my head's in the way. Sorry, Guitar Pros are shit sometimes. Okay, so again, let's analyze. Let's see what's going on here. When I look at this line, bring it up full screen so I can zoom in on it. When I look at this line, first two notes dealing in minor 7, straight minor 7. That's the 7th and the 3rd of the minor 7 chord. Then this, that's just melodic minor. So now here, this is our flat 7, so it's melodic minor, but also minor pentatonic or Dorian. Sorry. And then we have the chromatic stuff. So this is really cool. We hit 6. That's chromatic, right? Root of B flat, 9, flat 9 to root. Coming down, our Dorian. Straight Dorian. Then we've got some chromaticism. 4, 3, flat 3. And then we've got the Martino. That's really cool. That's cool. It's a slick way of hitting. And then we're descending down into what I would call shape 5 or G shape, caged, if you want to talk caged. Love Greg. Funny. Yeah, Greg's great. To me, not vastly different. I mean, he is vastly different from Danny. To me, that sounds like somebody that hasn't listened to a lot of Danny, to be honest. But yeah, Greg definitely went to Gatton Academy, if you want to put it that way. I'd kind of say the same about someone like Josh Smith. You know, like he's not vastly different from Danny Gatton. Some overlaps, but you know, still very different players. Is this video lesson recorded before or after his seizure? After, way after. Seizure was in 78, 79. I think. I could just totally be talking out my ass now. So, yeah, if I bring up this camera, same principle. When we look at where these slurs fall, they're all going to be on upstrokes. All of them. So we go. Sorry. It's an awkward one. That well, it's not awkward. These are fingerings that I don't play all the time. They're not obvious fingerings for me. They're not the way that I would normally finger things. Not the way I would normally play my lines. It's why I'm learning this stuff. Therefore, I'm going to make a ton of mistakes when I'm playing it. Don't mean to justify, of course, but I'd learn that. Sorry. Just to get the idea. Sorry. And then continuing, we'd have that's really cool. I like that. Sorry. Sorry. There's that descend. You know, if I'm working on putting that in the way I would normally play. That's cool. I like that a lot. And I like to, of course, practice these with a swing feel to get them like the lock, the groove on these types of things, and then work on them as a 16th note double time feel. Get the right bass note on there. Pick in hand. Again. Wrong note. A little bit. Now play it straight. Wrong ending on there. That's kind of... let's put it in from... there we go. That makes more sense. There we go. What's the end of this lick? I forgot it. There we go. There we go. Now, let's try and fit that in a blues line, right? Or not a blues, a bluesy line. Starting to get in there. Yeah. 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 Woo-hoo! There we go. Getting it. I kind of like that. No. Just straight to that, yeah. But there we go. That's a line, right? It's a Martino line. And of course, I've made it a me line because I'm swinging it hard the way I like to hear these lines. But yeah, I think I'm getting something here. So that was the second half of the line. First half of the line, I'll bring it up again so people can see it. I'm just going to answer this question as well. Billy Bean was one of the best bebop guitar players. Do you know him? I don't know him, actually. No, it's a 1961 video called The Trio. What when I was Billy Bean. Okay. I'll check that out. I will check that out, yeah. How helpful do you think it is learning more than one of the 8-note bebop scales? I don't think learning bebop dominant just in general is a massively good use of your time, because it's easy to take bebop dominant. I'll just, for anyone unfamiliar, it's mixolydian with a major 7 in there, so you'd be going. And I think when people do it, there's not really an understanding why they're doing it. Like, they're just playing it for the sake of playing it, and it's not really a scale concept, it's an arpeggio concept, and it falls in line with this articulation concept. I don't want to play. I want to play. when I play, I don't think VWAP scales just don't come up. Now, of course, I am going to play lines like that, but I would never play. It just, yeah, it's not really for me. Yeah. So Ricardo makes a great point there. Like, that's the point. It's an arpeggio concept. You put an arpeggio tones on downbeats, and it should put more of an emphasis on this idea of chord tones on strong beats, this emphasis of strong versus weak beats. And then, of course, when you focus on strong versus weak beats, you're going to put yourself into that territory where you get this swing picking concept where you're going. When I play like that, it's got that, you know, Martino-esque swing feel to it, even though I'm playing with string chord. But if I make it straight, I can't not play with a swing feel. I enjoy it too much. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting carried away. Having too much fun playing. This isn't a playing stream, this is a transcribing stream. So I like that line. What have we got here? Okay, this is nice. So similar idea. If we look at where he's playing. There, starting in that E shape and descending down to G if you want to talk cage terminology. Let's bring that up like this. I'll put all these tabs up for download, of course. They'll be up for download on my Patreon page after this stream. I'll probably put them up tomorrow because it's late. Now there's actually an example. If I hear that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. It's off. All the phrasing's off. That's how you would initially feel it based on where that first note is. But if you listen to the articulation, you get that ba ba ya ba 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 ya ba 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 ya ba ba. You get that pull off on the upstroke. That's how that's being played. So this first note, we don't want to hear it as being 1, 2, 3, 4. Ba da. We want to hear ba ba da ba da da. So he's just playing that note a little bit longer than maybe you'd want to, but yeah, it's B flat minor. Now, of course, you could fix that by anticipating, by starting that note on at the last 16th note of the previous bar. Actually, I want to check he's picking for this. He does play it with a downstroke, so yeah. Picks all those notes. Same idea here, right? He actually does hit the... He did it on the previous example. I just didn't like the sound of it. Thanks very much for the donation, SS. I really appreciate it. Let me decide if I like that as an A flat there. A makes a lot more sense. Yeah, okay, so I'm okay with that. So my line, nice and slow. We're going to go 3, 4. One more time. Yeah, I agree. Do more super chats, or join up to my Patreon for $5. I get more of the money. You can be there for 2 whole months. Download all the transcriptions and everything. Let me actually check the way he's. There's got to be pull-offs in there, right? Yeah. That's a pull-off. Everything else is picked. But still, you know, weak beat to strong beat. That's how this works. So this line. Does he actually slide? It'll be a shift slide if I. So we'll put a shift slide in here. So he's picking both of those notes, but there is a finger slide there, moving on the index finger. So programming it in. Bring my guitar up. And again, this is just how I'm developing, how I'm learning, how I'm programming this information in when I practice it. I want to get the sound, B flat minor. Now I'm articulating it slightly differently, but I'm still putting those slurs in on those upstrokes. So yeah, I know that style of playing. You know, that's how I phrase. So okay, I'm going to continue on. Screen and face. There we go. Next line is here. I'm not going to transcribe that because that's basically lick 1. The first lick we did. So on to this one. So this is moving. He's doing a lot of moving around here. For playing bebop, what do you think of exercises that focus on upbeats? I think they're essential. I think they're absolutely essential, Sat. If you want to play bop, you've got to be able to hit those upbeats. You've got to be able to do it. You learn, you know, Parker stuff. That's how Parker sounds, you know. That's why Parker sounds the way he does. It's that heavy accent on weak beats, heavy accent on upbeats. So this line begins the same as the last line, but then he goes off, and I laughed because I was like, I can move on from this one as well. But it begins the same way, but then he takes it in an interesting direction. So this is D flat minor. And then it says to B flat minor, and I don't definitely seeing this as being D flat minor. That's, yeah. Yeah, I guess that is a D flat minor to B flat minor. But we just want to hear it at speed and think of it as being one long line, right? What a player. I'm probably going to make this the last line I do, guys, because it's getting late. It's getting late, and I've not eaten any dinner tonight. So, and it seems SS has bought my dinner. Thank you very much. Right. Now that he adds the note. So there's an additional note in here. Slide. Now that helps the line to fall onto the into this picking pattern, this swing picking. That's a mechanic that he's playing a lot, and this note is non-diatonic, but he does it a lot, so I need to program that in. Sorry, upper major 7 sound, or minor 7, I guess, depending how you think of it. Oh. Slick position shift. Again, shift picks both of those notes, but shift slide. So that's clearly, this is where we're thinking, for me at least, B flat minor. Now I'm going to end, obviously he ends on A. I'm not thinking like that. This is a B flat minor line to me. Well, it's not, because he ends on D flat. Let's pull this one apart and see where we would think of that transition as being. And I will notate that. So I'm going to put D flat minor. So this is all definitely D flat minor. Would we think of this as being still D flat? This would be... This is B flat. So this is B flat minor. That's literally a B flat minor 7 arpeggio. So, okay, it helps us to see and understand how the line works. Begins on D flat minor, moves to the B flat minor. And, you know, I'm going to do a little speech there to end. What we've got here, I think, highlights... I was going to say how bad instructional videos back in the day used to be. And that's unfair. Because this is a great video. There's a lot that you can learn in this, but you have to do all of the work, because Pat Martino, as incredible a player as he is, he's not a great teacher. You know, he's playing all this stuff, and because his mind understands it to such a high level, when he plays it, he just assumes that you understand it to that high level too. And it's the same with like the Danny Gatton instructional video and the Scotty Anderson instructional video. I love those videos. I've learned so much from those videos, but not when I first watched them. It took me a decade, if not more, to learn anything from them, because I had to sit down and put in the work. this is very much a DVD like that. You need to sit down and put in the work. Wouldn't it be fantastic if Pat played that line and then afterwards he went, so what I'm really doing there is I'm thinking D flat minor, and then transitioning into B flat minor, and I play both of these over an A7 chord, because these would be two common substitutions that I would like to play over a minor 7 chord, which would be minor starting on the 3rd and minor starting on the flat 2. It's Daryl Gable talks about this on his Inside Out. No, it's not called Inside Outside. Secrets of Outside Playing, Secrets of Outside Guitar. I don't know. Been 15 years since I've seen it. Point is, it's minor 7 vocabulary moving in minor thirds. So it's kind of related to the diminished thing, if you want to think like Pat thinks. But point is, he likes the sound. That's fine. He doesn't articulate it very well on the DVD. And I think there's a lot on this DVD where he's playing a line, he plays a line, improvises a line, and then he looks over to the guy that's playing the chords behind him and says, again, let's do that again. And he plays it again. And the odd thing is that they've just published it all. They've not edited it in any way, shape, or form. So this DVD comes across as like a real stream of consciousness with no editing, which is a shame. Because when I look at Creative Force Complete, and again, you can get you can't get a free copy of this on my Patreon, but I'm giving this copy away to someone on my Patreon. The running time for this DVD is 167 minutes. 167 minutes. You could trim that down to 2 hours and still have a lot of content, but this is 167 minutes. And it's because he just talks and talks and plays and talks and plays, and there's not really a lot of editing going on, and you could probably edit his talking quite a lot. He talks way more than he needs to. He explains, well, he doesn't explain the point. He says something and then he elaborates on that thing or restates that thing in a different way. And he'll often do that 3 times, just stating the same point in 3 different ways. You could trim all of that out and really get to the point and make this stuff a lot more accessible for a learner. But of course, this came out in, let's check this version. 1989, the original, not on DVD, obviously. The original video came out in 1989. Now, I was born in 1988, so this is almost as old as I am. Educational material has come a long way, thankfully. And of course, Pat has instructional material with many companies since this as well. And I've not checked all of that out, of course. I should maybe check out the Truefire one, but like I said, I just find his approach just very exhausting. And I do feel his playing is kind of diminished, pun not intended, as he's got a little bit older. I think he was on fire when he was younger, and everyone loses a bit of speed and accuracy and articulation. He's starting to hear it in Mike Stern's playing. As they mature, you're not once the player you've always been. So old instructional videos, not the best, but still a lot of stuff that you can learn from them. And hopefully you've learned something from this video. Hopefully you've got in my mindset about how I go about transcribing stuff when I'm looking to learn, because that's what this was. This was a learning session. This is actually really a study club stream. It's not really a transcription stream. This is what my study club streams, I was going to say but used to be, is probably more fitting because I've not done one in a while. And I want you to see how I go about learning, how I study material and improve upon my own playing, where I learn from, and the process for that. So hopefully you've taken something from this. Please do head on over to my Patreon. Let's do that. Patreon. Link in the description. I'm going to give this DVD away to someone. If you want a headache, you're welcome to have a headache. Why not? I can also, I'll post one of my CDs as well, because I've got like hundreds of them, and I'd like rid of them. So cool DVD. Thank you very much for my wonderful supporters over on Patreon. Links scrolling on screen right now. You guys are incredible. Check me out. Link in the description. If that doesn't suit, you can also head on over to Amazon. Check out one of my books. I have a lot of books available. I've got a new one that's written. I'm just waiting for a release schedule for it. Still got to do audio. You know how it is. You probably don't know how it is, but a lot of work. You guys are absolutely awesome. Thank you so much. What's this last comment? Charlie Christian, Topsy, Swing to Bop, Guitar Solo, Transcription, some great chromatic lines. And on this, so it's a different video, right? Okay. I just feel like, just transcribing stuff like that when it's Charlie Christian stuff, right? Because, oh, what a great time to end. Playback 666. Wonderful time to end. Guys, you're incredible. Thank you very much. Hopefully one of you guys watching the stream wins this DVD. If not, cool. I'll see you for another video soon. Check out the Guitar Soul. Subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell your enemies. All of that good stuff. And I will see you motherfuckers for another video very soon. Much love. Goodbye.